10 are the most shocking clean victories in WWE ever. Number 10, Vladimir Kozlov pins The Undertaker. One of the WWE's pet projects between 2008 to 2009 was Vladimir Kozlov. Kozlov had a great look, yet the generic stereotypical gimmick that WWE presented him with was instantly rejected, as it was insanely stale and fans had seen it done hundreds of times before. However, one of the ways WWE tried to get Kozlov over was by booking him in top matches against the likes of Triple H, Jeff Hardy, and The Undertaker. When it came to The Undertaker, WWE did the unthinkable on an episode of SmackDown in 2009. They had Kozlov defeat The Undertaker clean. This came completely out of nowhere, and the fact that WWE committed to booking Kozlov to defeat the Dead Man was a testament to how much faith they had in him at the time. Ultimately, this victory meant nothing for Kozlov's career. It didn't influence the crowd reception to him in any way. All it served as was a total waste of extremely rare clean pinfall losses for the Dead Man. Number 9, Baron Corbin pins Kurt Angle. A WrestleMania 35 would see Kurt Angle have his final ever WWE match, and the WWE's grand idea was to have him face Baron Corbin. Whilst fans were less than thrilled about the prospect of Angle versus Corbin, fans hoped that at least Angle would get a convincing win on the grand stage and then ride off into the sunset. Unfortunately, Corbin defeated Angle clean 1-2-3. This stunned fans, and it shouldn't have been the end to Angle's iconic career that fans wanted. Angle being Angle had no issues in doing the favors for Corbin, but even he knew that Corbin wasn't the right opponent. The idea behind this huge win for Corbin was that it would propel him up the card, and although WWE did indeed move him into the world title picture following WrestleMania 35, fans had trouble buying into Corbin in this role, and retiring a beloved name such as Angle didn't serve as the career boost that Corbin would have liked. Number 8, Kevin Owens pins John Cena. At one stage of his career, John Cena had a reputation for failing to put over young talent. Some would say that Cena was even prone to burying fellow wrestlers, and despite these criticisms, the later years of Cena's WWE career were filled with him putting over talent left, right, and center. In 2015, WWE would shockingly debut NXT champion Kevin Owens on the main roster. Owens was instantly thrown into the deep end with a high-profile feud with John Cena. Owens and Cena would then collide at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and amazingly, Cena put Owens over clean and convincingly. The match was outstanding, and Owens was a ready-made main event star, and the fans actively wanted him in this role. Cena 100% did the right thing by putting Owens over, and almost 10 years after this monumental victory, fans still cite this as the most important moment of Owens' WWE career. Number 7, Fandango pins Chris Jericho. When Vince McMahon informed Chris Jericho that he'd be working and losing to Fandango at WrestleMania 29, Jericho was actually livid. Fandango was a new WWE creation. He was a ballroom dancer, a gimmick that certainly had a shelf life, and Jericho believed that it was a total insult to his credibility. After The Undertaker talked Jericho out of walking out of the company, Jericho committed to his role at WrestleMania 29, and he reluctantly put over Fandango. Although Fandango was a heel, WWE booked the match, so Fandango won in a clean manner thanks to a small package. This came as a total surprise, as although many fans had suspicions that Fandango would win the match, nobody expected him to win 100% clean. This clean win had a temporary popularity boost for Fandango, as the ballroom dancer was one of the most over acts on TV in the subsequent weeks, and his theme song even charted in certain markets. Number 6, Shelton Benjamin pins Triple H. Upon switching to Raw in 2004's WWE Draft, WWE wasted no time in presenting Shelton Benjamin as a big player. Benjamin would be booked to face Triple H on Raw, and the idea behind the match was to establish Benjamin to the audience, and working with the top star on the show was a guaranteed way to achieve this. However, nobody in their wildest imaginations could have predicted that Benjamin would defeat the game, never mind in a clean fashion. WWE did somewhat protect Triple H by having him focused on Chris Benoit on the outside of the ring, yet Benoit was there for a strong portion of the match, so wrestling historians would certainly label the win as a clean victory. Wrestlers defeating Triple H in this era was insanely rare, and for WWE to book Benjamin to get the win of his career was a major sign of approval from WWE's higher-ups. Number 5, Goldberg pins Brock Lesnar. The idea behind Goldberg returning to WWE in 2016 was for the wrestling legend to have one final match, as well as promote WWE 2K17. Goldberg would collide with Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series event, and the booking of Lesnar was incredibly strong at the time, as it was just 2 years after he'd ended The Undertaker's WrestleMania win streak. Due to this, it was a common consensus that Lesnar was going to win, and Goldberg was just going to get a special moment with the fans following the match. The reality was that Goldberg would outright squash Lesnar in seconds. Nobody saw this type of victory coming, and it was truly one of the most shocking wins in WWE history. According to Goldberg, this creative idea was the mastermind of Lesnar. It's unclear what exactly the initial creative pitch for the match was, however, it was unlikely to be a Goldberg victory via a squash. Lesnar's idea was that Goldberg would squash him and Lesnar would then seek revenge on him. The payoff to this eventually came at WrestleMania 33 when Lesnar would defeat Goldberg in a clean manner to become Universal Champion. Number 4, Kurt Angle submits Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was known for his lack of desire to put over talent, and in 2002, WWE decided to have Hogan lose a number of times on television and pay-per-view. One of the more notable losses for Hogan was at the hands of Kurt Angle. The two would face off at the 2002 King of the Ring event, and Vince McMahon made the executive call to have Angle win in a clean manner via submission thanks to his ankle lock. Whilst this was a huge deal as Hogan tapping out was incredibly rare, Angle defeating a top star with the ankle lock was a common staple of WWE programming in 2002, and Angle was without a doubt one of the most legitimate stars in the entire company. Angle would reflect on the clean win during an episode of his podcast, and this is what he had to say. "It's a huge deal. It legitimizes you. You're in the business and you make Hulk Hogan tap out within 2 years in the business, you become one of the very top talents in the company. I mean, it's Hulk freaking Hogan. He's an icon." Number 3, Bobby Lashley pins Roman Reigns. In the summer of 2018, reports surfaced that Brock Lesnar vs Roman Reigns for the Universal title was actually planned for SummerSlam. These reports were met with disdain from fans, especially following the quality of the Lesnar vs Reigns match at WrestleMania 34. Due to these reports, it seemed like a certainty that WWE would book Reigns to defeat Bobby Lashley at the 2018 Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Extreme Rules was said to be the final main roster pay-per-view before SummerSlam, and Reigns getting a big win would set up his SummerSlam showdown with Lesnar. However, in a move that nobody could have anticipated, Lashley pinned Reigns with a spear. This led to rumors that Lashley was going to be inserted into the Universal title match. However, Reigns eventually got his win back on TV, and WWE proceeded with the singles match that nobody wanted to see. Number 2, Jeff Hardy defeats Triple H. By late 2007, Jeff Hardy's popularity had begun to skyrocket. Hardy had an organic and genuine connection with the fans, and WWE had no choice but to insert Hardy into the main event scene. At the 2007 Armageddon pay-per-view, Hardy would collide with Triple H and the winner would face WWE Champion Randy Orton at the 2007 Royal Rumble. The WWE did the unthinkable as they booked Hardy to defeat the game clean. This was the right move as nobody wanted to see Triple H versus Orton again, and Hardy in the WWE title picture was completely fresh. And it's exactly what fans were pushing for. But even though Hardy won clean, WWE did book the finish as if it was somewhat of a fluke, as Hardy would win with a jackknife pin. In a great moment after the match, the game would endorse Hardy, which was great to see, and ultimately, the fluky finish didn't take away from the significance of the win. And number 1, John Cena pins Chris Jericho. For the most part, Chris Jericho was considered to be incredibly selfless during his WWE run, and in 2002, he put over a young John Cena in a major way. The two legends would collide at Vengeance, and Cena would counter the walls of Jericho into a clean pin in one of the more surprising match outcomes of the respective time. According to the inaugural Undisputed Champion on Saturday Night Special, the original finish that Vince McMahon had in mind was Jericho going over, however Jericho wanted to put Cena over on pay-per-view. I remember calling Vince McMahon the night before that show and basically telling him that me winning was the wrong finish. I told him clearly that John should go over. However, Vince didn't see anything special in Cena. I told Vince, "I'm telling you, this guy's got something." Finally, Vince was like, "Fine, put him over if you want." And that was the beginning of John Cena as we know it. It may be crazy to think that this small change made Cena's career. But there you have it, folks, the 10 most shocking clean victories in WWE history. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.